Has brought those students here in serious but stable condition here at the hospital. They are now being treated for their injuries after that bus crash. We are told that those students were standing outside the bus. There were 25 students on the bus at the time of the crash, and those two students were standing outside the bus very close to their principal when that crash happened. Joining us now is a member of Riley Children's Hospital IU Health, a social worker. You are the managing social worker, Lauren Kennedy. Lauren, tell us, when a child comes in after that kind of situation, what is your role to help out and help them deal with this?
So I think our role centers with a lot of that crisis work to start with, making sure that we have the families connected to the right child and that we have parents connected to their loved ones, because they're obviously concerned they weren't with their child at the event, so making sure we connect them. And then we provide support not only for the children but for the patients and families as they deal through the crisis of, these unexpected events from things like bus crashes.
Can you tell us about what are some of the uphill battle that these parents and these families are going to have going forth? I mean, some of these kids, they could have nightmares after something like this.
Obviously, in these situations, it's stressful for all members of the families, especially the kids. We always encourage families to be open with their children, to answer their questions. Honestly, we don't necessarily need to give children all the details, but to be upfront and give them information that's developmentally appropriate for their age. It encourages children to be able to talk about the experience if it's a normal thing to talk about it, and it's not something we hide away from. When the parents encourage that, it encourages them to go through the healing process.
Does it matter which age? I know this happened at an elementary school. How does age play a role in their healing in that process?
It varies from developmental stage, but it's still somewhat similar advice. So elementary kids still know that there's something that's happened, that there was a loss of a loved one, and so it's okay to acknowledge that with them in their developmentally appropriate age. And it's okay to acknowledge the feelings and let them talk about it in however is appropriate for them to talk about.
Are these conversations that maybe parents should be having with kids, even if they don't go to school there? They may just be hearing about this and be frightened or concerned. Should parents be talking to their kids as well?
Absolutely. Kids have big imaginations, and they sense more than we give them credit sometimes for seeing, so it's better to be open and encourage that dialogue than to not necessarily address it because you don't think it affected them.
What kind of tips do you give parents who come here to the hospital after their children have been in such a large tragedy such as this one?
We always encourage them to partner with their schools, their local community churches, after-school activities, coaches, pediatricians, because sometimes they can help identify behavioral changes or different changes that the child may be experiencing that may be an outward sign of their stress through the crisis. Kids may not recognize what they're doing is a sign of their grief or their stress about it, so parents can partner with them. If those are identified, then they can help work together to try to find resources and connections for those kids.
All right, thank you very much. That was Lauren Kennedy. She is the manager over the social work department here at Riley Children's Hospital with IU Health. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you guys. Reporting live now from Riley Children's Hospital, Liz Adiola, RTV6.